I'm John, and my wife, woman, wife, Sue, just S. And if they say their last name, just leave it off.
Okay.
John and Sue, okay?
Okay.
The reason I say that is because by the time you finish finger spelling their last name, they're gonna be reading this. Now, if they ad-lib something, if they say something else, you can do it. Just listen, okay?
Okay.
When you practice this for the next 4 days, okay? When you practice this for the next 4 days, I don't want you watching a video of you signing. I want you to listen. This is not, okay, so you are entering, how did Star Trek say that? You're now entering a new dimension. Which is so true, because you're entering somewhere you've never been before. This isn't a song. This isn't like a song. Signing songs, they're different. This is interpreting. Okay? Okay. I like that smile. I'm trying not to cry. So when you are practicing, I want you to listen to, we're gonna video it, your dad will video it. I want you to listen to this, okay? The whole key to interpreting is listening. I paused during reading because I was watching you out of my peripheral. I didn't want to get too far ahead of you. But in a minute, I'm going to read this. I mean, do they read it or do they pause? They read it.
They're going to read it.
Okay, so I'm going to read it.
Because more than likely, they're not going to be comfortable just being up there talking, so they're just going to read it.
So, I mean, they're not going to slow read it, they just read it. So, the difference in what I just did for you reading this and what you're going to work up to, okay? It's all in your ears and listening. You do not have to stay right up, like, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son. They might finish that and you might be at world. Just keep listening and sign what you hear. If you miss something, okay, if something happens and you can't hear, drop it and don't think about it. Do not think about it, okay?
Okay.
Pick up with what they're saying and go on, okay?
Which is exactly what that guy did at Great Hills as he was doing the preaching. Like it was usually 2 or 3 seconds, maybe more, whenever he was done talking, but the guy was finishing up when he was.
Yeah, the lag, it's called a lag time. I don't really have a lag time. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm right on what they're saying, which is not a good thing. Another interpreter has a longer lag time, and sometimes I'm like, gosh, how do you remember all that? But your brain does it. The process of what happens is this big oval, and it has all these little, it's crazy what your mind does through your ears and to your mind, and then out your hands. It's crazy what your brain does when you are doing this, okay? But you can do this, okay? I also would not try to memorize this, okay? I would practice it and I would be listening, but I would not try to memorize this. Because if they make a mistake, okay? Or maybe I ought to ask you, is your intent to memorize this and do it, or to interpret what they're saying?
To interpret.
Okay, if they mess up, you mess up. If they leave out something, then you can't interpret that because they didn't say it.
I have to leave that out.
Like skip a whole verse.
It's been
All
done,
right.
it's been done. I mean, they may, you know, skip from here to there, okay?
Okay.
It's all about your ears. Listening. Okay?
Okay.
So, you do it again? Okay.
And verdict is what?
Decision.
What?
Yeah, so when a judge makes or hands down a verdict on someone that's been in